thought Brisky did an incredible job of, pitching through a little adversity and then stopping it. And they scored in 1 run with 2 hits. We knew they were going to get some hits. Okay, they have over 200 home runs now, I think. That's like 4 a game. So she limited the damage. She did not walk anybody. And then the other key stat for me was no errors on our defense. So I thought it was a really well-played game and very gritty by our offense. And I felt like we were just missing a couple early in the game. And then Brooke connected, and so did Papillo.
Okay, we'll start on the right side, front row with Brady.
Brady Vernon, Softball America. Just Alexis, Brooke, they kind of come through in this big moment. Just could you kind of talk about why that was such a big piece of like why you decided to come to Alabama and just be present in these type of times?
I think Murph does a great job of creating such a great team culture that we have trust in people. So I knew after I struck out, I had no doubt that Lex was going to pick me up. And I think we have that throughout the whole lineup.
I think I was just really excited to be a part of the Standard, and we're chasing excellence and we're chasing a never-ending pursuit of greatness, and I just was really excited to be a part of that.
Okay, we go to the left side, front row.
Amelia Hurley, Tuscaloosa News. Brooke, I know that Super Regionals didn't go exactly how you planned, but we heard that you got a card from Coach. You had your team kind of rallying throughout you this week to get you to this point. Just how big was that moment for you, and what all did this team do to help you get to that point?
Yeah, it was just great to do it for these girls. These girls are so great, and they had my back all last weekend. You know how you said it wasn't the best weekend for me, but they never lost trust in me. They never lost faith in me, and Murph gave me a card. The girls picked me up all weekend, and so I just walked in here feeling as confident as ever. It didn't really cross my mind anything that happened last weekend.
Stay on the front row left.
Katie Window, Bama Central. For Jocelyn, last year you faced UCLA and were kind of rolling, and they kind of started to rally. Was any of that flashing through your head today? Murph said you were able to stop the adversity. How were you able to do that?
Yeah, I mean, I've been kind of saying it all week that we knew they were going to score runs. They're a great offense, great team, and so it was just minimizing it as much as possible and just minimizing it to 1 inning. I'll take that any day, especially with our offense. I knew we were going to score runs, and they did, so really proud of our team.
Okay, we stay on the left side, front row. Eric?
Eric Lopez, D1 Softball. Brooke, just talk about the fit and the offense. It seems like Alexis hits the home run, you come back. As an offense, you all feed off each other?
Yes, I would totally say we've fed off each other all year. And kind of back to what I was saying, even if one person doesn't get the job, the next person will. And I think we have that throughout the whole lineup, and we have so much diversity throughout the whole lineup. So I think that's what makes our offense so successful also.
Okay, we go to the left side, front row.
For Alexis, this is a home run in 3 straight postseason games. Just what has it been for you stepping up on the big stage that kind of makes you able to do this in these type of moments?
I mean, this is the moment that I've been waiting for since I was 8 years old. And I walked through the gates today and I kind of started tearing up for a second because it just felt surreal. And I just remember watching, Montana Fouts pitch in the World Series when she threw the perfect game. And that moment of me when I was 8 years old, watching it on the TV and watching her do it was man, I really want to do that. And so just being here and getting to experience all the amazing things that we have in the last 3 days has been like a kid in a candy store. I just felt so blessed to be here.
Okay, we stay on the left side, second row, Scott.
Scott Wright from the Oklahoma. Brooke, I've got 2 questions for you, actually. First one, how's the lip?
It's good. I got a stitch in it, and it'll be all good.
Okay, well, now, this is not my second question. Then I got another one. But how difficult is it to get a stitch in the middle of a game?
Honestly, I think with all the adrenaline going through me, it didn't feel much, and we have the best doctors, so I'm all good.
You touched on the doctor in the dugout.
Yes.
Right. You touched on card and some of the things. How important was it for you to feel the team kind of supporting you and get the card from Coach, all those sorts of things? How much did that kind of uplift you this week?
Yeah, no, it definitely helped me just kind of keep my shoulders up. It's hard having such a rough weekend as I did last weekend, but you never really felt it when I got there on Monday, and knowing that the coaches have my back, the girls have my backs, it was easy to come into today and just be it's a whole new start. It's the World Series. This is what you dream of as your little kid, and so it's just a whole new day and kind of just enjoying that.
Okay, we'll stay on the left side, front row.
Alexis, we've heard that you journal and you're a very dedicated student when it comes to the game, and you're even reading Finished It and trying to build that into the season. Can you just talk a little bit about your studying habits and how you kind of translate that to make you have the production that you do have on the field?
I think that the game is 90% mental and about 10% physical, and that's where I really wanted to hone in this year, was being a student of the game and not just performing the physical aspects. And so for me, it's more sticking to my routine, sticking to my good habits, and just continuing to work hard in every moment.
Okay, this will be the last question for players right side, second row.
Will Dawson, CBN Sports. Alexis, Jocelyn, whoever wants to answer the question. I know that prayer is a big part of your pregame ritual for a lot of you. Can you tell me what God has taught you this season about yourself?
Yeah, before every inning, I pray, and kind of it just helps keep me grounded. And I feel like it's just really been able to help me understand that I'm playing for something a lot more than just my success on the field or anything that I do on the field. And to be surrounded by a team that loves God so much has seriously just transformed my life. And all these girls just pour into Christ so much. So it really is just a joy.
I think when you're around people like Marley Giles and Audrey Vandergriff and Larissa Pruitt, who are so grounded in your faith, it really encourages you to also be grounded in your faith. And I think it really reminds me that I'm saved by my faith and not my performance, and that this game does not define me, and I'm a child of God. I think it also helps me to not let the moment get too big, but also like gratitude helps you not make the moment too big. And when you're just so grateful that God has blessed us to be here, then you don't let, jealousy, negativity, stuff like that creep into your mind and create self-doubt. So I think that's where my faith helps me.
Yeah, I would definitely say for me, it's helped me a lot kind of just like moving forward and not focusing on like the last at bat. And like I know, and I learned this a lot from like Audrey, was just kind of like moving forward. I know I tended to kind of not like dwell on what happened before, but it was always in the back of my mind. And so kind of just focusing on like just trusting his process, trusting the plan. Like he has everything in store for us, and we just have to continue to trust that and just do what we do.
I think also we have a responsibility as disciples of God that we are the role models for the up and coming generations. And God has given us this opportunity to not only glorify his name, but to be that example and show them what God's light is through us.
Okay, that'll wrap things up. Players, you're dismissed. Thank you. Good luck. All right. Questions for Coach Murphy. We'll start on the right side, front row. Brady.
Brady Vernon, Softball America. I think the three might let people glaze over just how great Brisky was tonight. I think the 9 strikeouts is the second most UCLA's had all season, and just to bounce back the way she did, retired 13 in the last 15. Just could you kind of talk about how great she really was tonight?
Well, I was really, really hoping in the 6th inning when we went 1, 2, 3 because I didn't want anybody else to get up in the 7th. So that kind of worked out for us. But she's done it all year, seriously. And I'm glad that you guys got to see it because it's truly been like that all year. No walks, pretty much pound the zone, throw strikes, and here it is, And she just has been so consistent game in and game out throughout, the last 4 months. So I'm glad you got to see it tonight.
Okay, we go to the left side, front row.
I believe it was Jocelyn that said that Alexis can basically predict pitches. Can you just talk a little bit about, contextualize how difficult that is, and talk from your perspective about how you've observed her study throughout the season?
Well, she has this little notebook that she keeps with her in the dugout and every at-bat. And I think she's been the DP mostly the entire year. So she does go out and play catch, but when she comes back in, she doesn't go on defense. So she's got a little more time to, write and journal, and it's usually like what pitch what was the result, what was the pattern, and then she goes from there. And what was she, 4 at-bats up today? Yeah, she was 1 for 4 with a home run. So she got to see her 4 times and, 15 pitches, 18 pitches. But it is difficult because if you guess wrong, then, you kind of look a little silly. But she goes in with a plan, and she sticks with the plan until she gets 2 strikes. And, good hitters, Major League Baseball, college softball, doesn't matter. They usually do that.
Okay, we stay on the left side front row.
Jenna Young reached base 4 times today, 3 hits in the leadoff spot, scored 3 runs. Just kind of how have you seen her take advantage of being moved into that spot, and then how valuable, obviously, was that today?
Oh, unbelievable today. Just terrific. And she's been like that in the postseason. But we needed a little shot in the arm from her. And, I was hoping one of the two behind her would do something big, and they both did. And we needed both of them. But Jenna's just been terrific. Leadoff, works a count, battles with 2 strikes, all those things. On the last hit was the duck fart to left field that, it got in there. It was a base hit. And then, Wells does the rest with the home run. So she's been very valuable.
Okay, we'll stay in the front row left again.
Eric Lopez, D1 softball. I know you're coaching there, but this place was packed, and it got loud, especially when Brooke hit the home run. Are you able to feel that? It felt like your team felt that rush there from this crowd there in this place.
Well, my Garmin's, goes off. It says, Murph dog, take a breath. So that doesn't happen very often during the season, but the adrenaline here is unbelievable. And the crowd was great. We watched a little bit of the games in the morning, and they were terrific at 11 a.m., on a Thursday morning. So kudos to everybody that came out, especially, since the host school is not in it this year. It means a lot to all our players, our athletes, our school, to have that many people watch a game between, Alabama and UCLA.
Okay, we go to the right side front row to Brady.
Brady Vernon, Softball America. Brooke did a little bit of two-way last year, but when she came to you guys had the conversation of focusing on hitting, and just how does that speak to the kid that she puts your faith in you guys to help her become the hitter that she has this season?
Well, we did see that she pitched some innings and had some starts, and, she pitched in summer ball some. And then when she got here, we had 5 already, and, our need was more on offense. And we did have a conversation, and she was okay with it. Obviously, that was fine with us. If she did want to, Lance probably gladly would have worked with her in the bullpen. But, her numbers are just unbelievable. I think it was the 24th home run tonight. I think I saw that somewhere. Papilla had 20. We did not think it was going to be that much, though, to be honest with you. We knew she was a good hitter, had a great swing, but her production has been just unreal for us.
Okay, this will be the last one. Second row on the left. Scott.
Scott Wright with the Oklahoma and Patrick. What kind of motivated you to give her the card, whatever the whole interaction was there?
Yeah, she just, she was 0 for 8. And we had the day off on Sunday. And then Monday morning we had early practice because it was getting hot in Alabama. So we went early and just put her in her locker. And then when I saw her, I said, the sun came up, we're playing again, and everything's right in the world. We're going to the World Series. So it's over and done with, And one of our sayings is the best is yet to come. Papillo and everybody else behind you picked you up, and we're still playing. It does not matter. And one of the things you have to have in the postseason is the quickest short-term memory that you've ever had in your life. Brisky had it tonight, because if she would have dwelled on those 2 home runs, they probably would have been the other score. They probably would have won. And short-term memory, what's done is done, and both of them have done it. And Brooke obviously did it today.